Welcome students. Today we are going to start the second chapter, that is control and coordination. In this chapter we are going to study about control and coordination mechanism present in plants and animals. Control, as you can see here, is power of restraint or regulation so that to start or stop any activity. On the other hand, coordination is referred as harmonious working of different parts of an interrelated system that those are working together. In our body, various activities are taking place at the same time. Various organs are involved over there, as we have studied in life process. If we take an example of digestion, at the same time various glands and various organs are doing their work. These organs are interrelated. The work of one organ is affected by others and it affects the others. So there must be a system which is there to regulate the harmonious working of all these interrelated organs. For this purpose, animals have two different sets of systems. We cannot say clearly them as different because at some extent they are related, but for convenience of study, we take them as two different parts. One is neural system, another is endocrine system. Neural system refers with the neurons, the nervous system and muscles. It is regulated by the brain and spinal cord. The endocrine system is associated with endocrine glands and hormones. It is actually a chemical coordination. In plants, nerves and muscles are absent. Brain and spinal cord is absent. There is no nervous system and neural coordination in plants. Plants only control and coordinate their activities with the help of chemical coordination. So first we are going to study about control and coordination in plants. So to start with, control and coordination in plants. Before we start, we must recall two terms that we have studied in lower classes: stimulus and response. You must be recalling these two terms. Stimulus is the agent, factor or change in environment which causes movement or any other type of reaction is called a stimulus. The stimulus refers to any sort of difference or change in environment, in surrounding, due to which the organism reacts. So it is called stimulus. Whereas the reaction to a stimulus is called response. So these are two terms which are interrelated and we have studied these two terms in lower classes. Plant, as we discussed, shows no neural control. Only chemical coordination is observed in plants. Plants coordinate and control their activity with the help of chemicals and they respond to those chemicals and they show those coordination in terms of movement. So plants show movement to respond towards the stimuli. Now we will learn about types of plant movements. There are various types of examples of plant movement like growth of stem, growth of root, blooming of flowers. These are all plant movements and these are associated with the stimulus present in the environment. Broadly, plant movements can be differentiated into two categories. Let's learn about those two categories. So, following are two types of plant movements. The very first is called nastic movement. Nastic movements are fast movements which are non-directional, reversible, and growth is not involved. In such movement, the result towards the stimuli, that is the response, is shown immediately by the plant parts. Plant parts show such movements which show their response toward the stimuli immediately. These are non-directional movement, means every time the direction of movement cannot be predicted. The movement, sometimes it may be predicted obviously, but there are some non-directional movements involved over there which are not predictable. The movement is reversible, means when the effect of that stimuli stops or is taken away, the plant part comes back in its original shape or position. So it is reversible, and here growth is not involved. The movement is due to the turgor pressure present inside the plant. The turgor movement is the movement of water. So the gain of water or loss of water creates such type of movement. So this is called nastic movement. Example of nastic movement can be drooping out of leaves of touch-me-not plant when it is touched. As soon as you touch the leaves of a touch-me-not plant, the leaves droops out. It is fast. You need not wait for the result. It is non-directional. Leaves may droop out from any direction. It is reversible. It means after some time, when the effect of the stimuli stops, the leaves come back in its original shape and position, and obviously in this very short period of time there cannot be any sort of growth. So the movement was not due to growth, it was only due to loss or gain of water from that area. So it is an example of nastic movement. The second type of plant movement is called tropic movement. It is very slow movement. It is directional movement. It is irreversible and it is growth related. Since it is growth related, it involves growth. That's why it is slow, very slow. You need to wait for results coming out. It is directional movement, the growth in a set pattern. The growth continues in a particular direction which is predictable. You can tell before the experiment or before the growth or before the result that in which direction the plant is going to grow. Since it is growth related and we know that growth cannot be reversible, so it is irreversible. It cannot be taken back, and all these are due to the plant shows growth related movement. It is not due to change in turgor. The examples of tropic movements are various depending upon the types of tropic movement. Obviously there are types of nastic movements that we need not to discuss. So now we are just going to discuss the types of tropic movement. So these are the types of tropic movements. Following are different types of tropic movements. There are 5 types of tropic movements: phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism, chemotropism, and thigmotropism. These are 5 different types of stimuli towards which plants show their movement. Now, one thing we must know, if plant parts are moving towards the stimuli, we will say that is positive movement. And if plant parts are moving away from the stimuli, we will call it negative movement. So, if in case of tropic movement, it may be positive tropism and negative tropism. The very first type of tropic movement is phototropism. Photo word refers to light. So it can be defined as growth oriented movement of plant parts towards light is called phototropism. When plant parts show their movement towards light, it is called phototropism. It may be positive or negative. Can you give some example of positive and negative phototropism? Stem show positive phototropism because stem grows towards the sunlight. Stem always grows towards the sunlight. It shows positive phototropism. Root shows on the other hand negative phototropism. Exceptions are there in the case of modifications, but we are talking in general terms. So stem show positive phototropism. It means stem is growing towards the sunlight. And root show negative phototropism. It is growing away from the sunlight. Have you remembered that activity which you have done in lower classes? You have taken a potted plant and kept it in a dark room near a window, or you just keep it inside a cardboard box having one hole from at one side. When we keep that box inside that pot inside the box or on the window, after some time or after few days, when we observe, we found that plant bend towards the source of light. If it is in cardboard box, plant bend towards that hole, or if it is kept near a window in a closed room, it bends towards the window, towards the sunlight means. So it is an example, a very good example of phototropism. It is a demonstration of phototropism, that stem grows towards the sunlight. It means stem shows positive phototropism and root shows negative phototropism. The second tropism is called geotropism. The word geo refers to gravity. So the tropic movement of plant parts according to gravity is called geotropism. Here the scene is reverted. Stem show negative geotropism. It grows away from the gravitational force. And root shows positive geotropism. It grows towards the gravity, towards the gravitational force. So how we can show this? We can show this by a simple demonstration, a simple activity. Just take a small potted plant and instead of keeping it straight, just invert it. Okay, keep it side by side in a laying position. After some time, after a few days, just remember, since these are tropic movements, these movements will not be seen very immediately. So you need to wait for them, since these are slow movements. It is the characteristic of tropic movement. So you need to wait for a few days. So after a few days, when you will observe the plant, if you just take out the plant carefully, dig out the soil and take out the plant carefully, what you will find? You will find that stem, instead of going in this direction, has bent upward away from the gravity, and the root, instead of going in this direction, has bent downwards. So it is showing that stem, in whatever condition you keep the plant, stem will always grow towards, away from the gravity and towards the sunlight, and root will always grow away from the sunlight towards the gravity. The third type of tropic movement is called hydrotropism. The growth-oriented movement of plant parts towards water is called hydrotropism. Hydro word refers to water. So directional movement of plant parts towards the water is called hydrotropism. Roots are a very good example of hydrotropism. Roots grow towards the water. Root grows in search of water, and wherever they will find the water source, they will bend down. We have studied in lower classes that xerophytes have very long roots. Why they are very long roots? Because they are just going deep inside in search of water. The plants present near the river sides show very well developed root on the side of river, and other side the roots are poorly developed. Again we can show this by a demonstration. In the next video I will explain about these activities one by one. Here just I am giving you a brief information about that. You can take a potted plant and instead of providing water to the roots of the plant, just dig a hole near the potted plant and put water in that hole every day. Don't give water directly to the root of the plant. After some time, if you take it out, if you will take out the plant, you will see that the roots have bent towards the hole that you made in which water is filled over it. So, movement of plant parts toward water is called hydrotropism. Next example of tropic movement is chemotropism. Chemo word refers to chemicals. So, what will be the definition? Growth-oriented movement of plant parts towards the chemical is called chemotropism. Pollen grains show chemotropism. We have studied about sexual reproduction in plants. After pollination, pollen grains are present on the stem and there they start germinating. Now, if a plant is having pollen grains of different species of plants, only the similar species pollen grain manage to reach out to the ovary. How it happens? It happens due to chemotropism. Each plant has a characteristic chemical released by the ovary, and that chemical is recognized by the pollen grain of that only species. No other pollen grains can recognize those chemicals, and the pollen grain of the same similar species, the same species that recognizes that chemical and grows towards it in search of it, and by that way it reaches to the ovary. So it is a good example of chemotropism. The last one is thigmotropism. Thigmo refers to touch. So tropic movement of plant part according to touch or contact is called thigmotropism. Have you seen a creeper or climber? The climbers are the plants which need support to grow up, and there are some very thin coiled wire-like structures, such type of structure. These structures are called tendrils. These tendrils are sensitive to touch, and these are in search of some surface or some contact. As soon as they get some surface like rope, stick that we usually provide to climb those plants up, they just coil around it. They just grow around it, coil around it, and in that way they pick up that support and grow upwards. So these tendrils are always in search of some contact and they grow in the direction of those contacts. So growth oriented movement towards touch or contact is called thigmotropism, and tendrils present in creepers and climbers are a good example of this. So students, let's have a quick recap of the portions learned today. Today we started second chapter, that is control and coordination. Now we know that control means the power to start or stop an activity, whereas coordination means harmonious working of interrelated parts. Now we studied that control and coordination takes place in animals by two methods. There is a neural control which involves brain, spinal cord, nerves and muscles, as well as a chemical control which involves hormones, endocrine glands inside the animals. Plants do not have muscles and brain. They do not have nerves and spinal cord. They have only one sort of coordination, that is chemical coordination. So plants show only chemical coordination and they show it in terms of their movement. So plants reacts to a stimuli, or we can say shows a response in terms of movement. The change in environment which creates a reaction in an organism is called a stimulus, and the reaction towards the stimulus is called stimuli. So the plants show the response in terms of their movements. Plants have two types of movements, nastic movement and tropic movements. Nastic movements are non-directional movements which are growth independent. These are fast and reversible movements. On the other hand, tropic movements are slow and growth related movements which are irreversible and directional movement, direction oriented movement. Then we studied the types of tropic movement. There are basically 5 types of tropic movement. The first one is phototropism. The growth oriented movement of plant parts towards light is called phototropism. Stems show positive phototropism, roots show negative phototropism. Second is geotropism. Growth oriented movement of plant parts towards the gravity is called geotropism. Roots show negative geotropism. Roots show positive geotropism and stems show negative geotropism. Hydrotropism. The growth related movement of plant part according to water is called hydrotropism. Roots show positive hydrotropism. Chemotropism. The growth related movement of plant part according to chemicals is called chemotropism. Pollen grains show positive chemotropism. And the last one is thigmotropism. The growth related movement of plant part according to touch or contact is called thigmotropism. The tendrils of creepers and climbers show positive thigmotropism. So students, this is the summary of today's class. Now I am just giving you some questions based on today's video. You try to find out the answers of those questions. You will get all the answers in the video itself. So write down the answers. Questions. So students, following are your assignment questions. The first question, what do you mean by control and coordination in organism? You have to define control and coordination. Second question, differentiate between tropic and nastic movements. So you have in point wise to write down differentiation between tropic and nastic movement. Third question, mention different types of tropic movements with examples. You will name different types of tropic movements. You will tell about those movements and you will give examples of those movements. And the last question, give an example of nastic movements. You will write down about the plant, the type of plant or the type of movement that is shown during nastic movements. So these 4 are your assignment questions. Write down the answers of these questions. Thank you.